Hi, welcome to another show of Let's Talk Over Teas. My name is Nijaah Howard. I'm your host for tonight, and I am so excited. As you guys know, this is a wonderful talk show for single mothers and single parents, and we talk about different things that single parents go through, ups and downs, relationships and school and health, and we just go all over talking about different issues. And so I'm so excited to be here again tonight. We always have week by week wonderful shows that hopefully you guys are gaining great information from and learning some just new tools to take away to just make your life better and improve what it is that you already know, something that you can apply to your everyday life. So I am so excited to welcome my guest today. I have Mr. Sajjad Khalfan. He has been in awards and signs and printing for over 30 years, a very dear friend of mine. I appreciate this man because he's dedicated to his work. He's always supported my efforts and been the background and done the background work of making my events so amazing and so special. So I am super excited. He's a wonderful husband, a great father, and I'm just excited to have him on to get his thoughts and his opinions and his views on the topics that surround single parents. So please welcome tonight my special guest, Mr. Sajjad Khalfan. Hello, Sajjad.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
By the grace of God.
Excellent.
By the grace of God. By the grace of God.
Excellent, 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 excellent. So listen, Gino, this is just a regular conversation we're gonna have. I'm very happy that you're on. Of course, we gotta have our tea. So what tea are you drinking tonight?
Stash.
Nice. What is the flavor?
A nice flavor. It was some unique flavor, some fruity flavor, but I can't remember the name.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, I got my stash also, and tonight I'm actually drinking organic gold cup chai. So I'm super excited by this one. I love chai. Chai has always been one of my favorites. So I'm excited that you're here. So let's just jump right into it. You know, I just finished writing this beautiful article. It was published by Madamia, and it's got a lot of great reviews. And, you know, I would have to say the most oppositional points to it, of course, comes from the male perspective. And so the article pretty much was indicating, can only a man raise a man? And so my viewpoints on that, and I know that you read the article, my viewpoints on this is that, you know, of course, we have to be careful how we make statements, right? Because statements like only a man can raise a man can damage a woman who is raising her son into a man. And I break down the different ways that that can particularly damage a mother and her sons, both their self-esteem and their competency and their willingness and ability to complete a task to full success. And so when I hear statements like that, I remember me as a mom when I was raising my son, and when I heard statements like only a man can raise a man, well, what does that leave me as a woman who has been thrust and forced into this role of motherhood and fatherhood? Where does that leave me? And statements like that can damage a woman because it makes her feel like she's not enough. So I wanted to change the trajectory. And so as I'm in my mission, I'm empowering single moms that they are enough. But that's just my viewpoint on it. Tell me, what are your thoughts? When you hear that statement, what do you think?
And the statement is that only a man can raise a man? No. It's to raise a child. It's a team effort. You're gonna need the man. Most of the time, the role of the man is the breadwinner. However, it's 2020. Things have changed. A lot of times these days, women are breadwinners as well. But the man can teach the man how to be a man, but the mother, the woman, is the one that bore the child, and the mother is the one that teaches the child, cooks for the child, helps him with his or her homework, raises the child, changes the diapers, feeds him. You see, the mother's milk, the man can't give the child mother's milk. Only the mother can give the mother's milk. You understand? So many different things that I can think of, but it's a team effort. According to my perspective, I would say it's a team effort. It's got to be like a tag team. The
That
man.
sounds, and see, that sounds great, right? But statistically, and you know, I just statistically in the African American community, and I know that I don't know how you would describe yourself, but I know that you are African, sort of Indian, Black. How do you describe your culture, and do you identify with being an African American Black? Because the thing is that in the African American community, over 60% of the households are run by women. And so, you know, the reality is that, yes, it would be nice to have a team effort and have, you know, the husband there to participate in the role. But over 60% of the time, they're not there. And whether it's by choice or by circumstance. So now what do you say to a woman who is forced to hear this statement? Where does she go? What does she do?
So considering that what you're saying in the African American community, there's more percentage of women raising the children by themselves. It's hard, but I'm just going to turn around, and because since I know you, I could even ask you, when you're raising your child, okay, there was a woman behind you to assist you, because now you became the breadwinner. So mama was there to help you with the babysitting and whatnot, so that you could do what you had to do to put food on the table for your child and for your home. And not only your mama was there, but your father was there too. So you were blessed to have that situation. But I would say it is very difficult for the woman, and I would recommend to have an assistant, a helper, a companion. Now, being it's 2020, times have changed. The man can also get another man to help him also. However, I'm of the type that I would say it's nice to have a woman to help you in that situation, because the woman's characteristics are in a certain way. The woman is a gentle person. She's with compassion. She's with love. The men are rough and tough, and they're just men. So it requires a team effort for sure.
Okay.
But it would be very, very difficult. I would think it's extremely difficult for a man to raise the child by himself. More than likely, the man has probably an aunt or his mother, or maybe a sibling, a sister, to kick in. But it'll be very hard for the man, because the man's got to get up in the morning and go to work and be a provider.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way things are.
Right. So it's very, so then you understand the plight of a woman who is raising a child solo. And you're absolutely right. I had a phenomenal support system, along with my sister, my grandmother, aunties, cousins. I had a plethora of people around me and my son that afforded him the ability to grow with peace and grow healthily. So, you know, we although I went through my struggles, I wasn't alone. And so, however, that does not exempt or take away from the fact that I was still a solo woman raising my son. And so the same thing applies to two-parent households, right? Two-parent households, they need grandma, grandpa, aunties, uncles, cousins, because two-parent households have a difficult time raising children, right?
Yes.
And so, one of the things, the reason why I'm so passionate about this statement and how it devalues a woman and a single parent's worth is because so often society automatically says, if you're a single mother, then your child is only successful because of your support system. In other words, you didn't do it on your own. You did it because of your support system. And yes, a support system is there to assist, but let's not take away the value and the power and the struggles and the sacrifices that a woman puts into and invests in her and her child. And whereas no one says to two-parent households, you know, you guys did a great job raising that child. Thank God for your mother and father. No one says that to two-parent households, right? But to a single-parent household, that child is successful because of all of the family members that were there. And so I'm here to say that, yes, I had a wonderful support system, but I stood alone in raising my son. He is where he's at because of the efforts and the investment that I placed in him. And so I want moms to feel that same sense of empowerment, knowing that a support system is necessary in the process, right? So for you, when you hear, or can you empathize that when you hear a statement like only a man can raise a man, when you hear that statement, how do you think a woman who is raising a male child, how do you think she could potentially interpret that?
No, it'd be very biased for her. Let me give you my own story, a little bit of history. We didn't meet uh, during the 9/11 times, September 11th time, 2000, 2001. It was a long time ago. I had a business in Queens Boulevard. I established a business with my wife around, it was around October of 1990, 1998, 1999. And around September 2011, of course, September, the World Trade Center tragedy took place. As you all know, I introduced myself with Assalamu alaikum. I'm a Muslim, a practicing Muslim. And so is my wife, and she wears her hijab. And I can't get into too much deep details, but I'll tell you one thing. 9/11 blew my business right out of the water, especially the fact that I'm being a Muslim. I never knew what racism was until September 11th, being caught up in racism of being a Muslim. And around that time, things were so tense. And I do remember at one point, my wife was in the back of the store. She was walking in the rear of the building, and one customer came in and is paying his bill with cash bills. And the guy was was also a foreigner himself, from, of all places, Thailand. And he's paying me in cash for his order. And while I'm receiving the money from him, his wife opened the door and took a peek inside. And she saw my wife walking back, and she turned around and told her husband, You dealing with these terrorists? Is that what you're doing business with? These terrorists? And the guy turned around, he went like this. He was so embarrassed while he was paying me. But after that time, some things took place where my wife had to step aside from the business. But for what reason? To take care of my two babies, our babies. She sacrificed her work at the business and said, I'm going to be a stay-home mom. Because I remember once I walked into the house, my wife was working in the city at a bank. She was working in Manhattan at a very prestigious bank. And my store was always on Queens Boulevard and nearby. I walked into the house. I saw the babysitter. And then behind the wall, I saw the babysitter had a friend also visiting her, a male friend.
Oh.
And I saw my daughter sitting on the couch watching TV and just bored can be. So a lot of things happen when you leave the kids with outside people. When you leave it with family, you know who you're leaving with. So in my personal case, my wife made the sacrifice of leaving the company. I had to buck up, and because my wife she's my everything. She's my financial planner. She has a degree in finance. She is an excellent administrator. She was helping me in administration in the business. You know me that I'm a paper monster. I got papers all over the place. But that woman was putting all the papers in their place. But she had to sacrifice. So in my particular case, I can tell you, I, Sajjad Khalfan, do not agree with that statement that only a man can raise a man. It doesn't, you need that help. You need a companion. You understand? It's not, raising a child is a team. It's a team effort. There's a mother, there's a father, there's a grandfather, there's it's all a team effort.
Absolutely. One of the old African proverbs is that it takes a village to raise a child. So
Yes.
Whether you are a single person or a married couple, it's your children need a insulated group of people to make them feel safe, a comfortable place where they can thrive and grow
Yes.
healthy. Planting seeds, because sometimes we as parents, you may miss a part of an education part, but your grandmother might pick it up and they'll be able to instill it in your kid. And because you're busy and you're running, you're doing your thing, so everybody plays a part, everybody contributes.
Everybody it's a team
Everybody
effort.
contributes. It's a team effort. Everyone contributes. But in the process, let's not knock down those who are doing it solo and making it work, right? Let's give credit where it's due. And one of the things I love so much about that, what you said, is that you said your wife, she's your everything. She's your financial advisor.
Just like Barry White says, you're my everything.
Everything. I love it. Because, listen, that's how you stay married. You got to give credit where it's due. And women play such a significant role to uphold not just husbands and children's, but the husbands, the household. They do so much. And so the least that we can do is give credit where it's absolutely due. So when a mother is rearing her children the way your wife was rearing your children, it could knock a woman down by constantly telling her what she can't do and that only you can do something. And, those kind of terms and negative stereotypes, they plant seeds into people. They start to implant negative thoughts into individuals that starts to make them feel like they're not enough and impedes on their self-esteem. So thank you for sharing that story. I really appreciate that, because I'm starting to see such a beautiful man, in front of me who highlights his wife and appreciates the work and the effort that she put through.
No, she's I got a good woman. She's been with me for 29 plus years. Whoa, Daddy! This July, my anniversary was July 6th.
I love
In
it.
I'm from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Um,
That's in Africa.
I'm more African American than the average African American because I was born in Africa.
Wow. Isn't that something?
But my background is Middle Eastern, Khalfan. My origin, from what I've been told, is from Oman, part of it. And as you can see, my complexion is from Indian, so the other half is from India. So I tell everybody, this hunk from Oman fell in love with this beautiful model actress from India, and then they got on a plane to Africa and they started making babies, and that's where we all came from, Africa, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And
I
then
love
we
it.
migrated in the 70s. My father came here in the 69. In 67, he came to America just to check out the place right after I was born. And around the early 70s, we migrated to America. And so now I am actually an African American because I'm from Africa and an American citizen as well now.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you for sharing that. Question. I love how you said, when your wife left the business and she had to take care of the babies, and you said, well, I got to step up my game and
Yes.
take care of the household. What message would you send men right now who are contemplating leaving their wife or leaving their children, and it could go so in depth and so deep because everyone has their own personal issues and reasons why they may separate from a relationship. But what message could you give men in terms of the value of the importance of them being in a household and what that looks like for a wife and for children? What does that bring?
Every marriage is a supreme sacrifice. Any marriage where you have two people that were raised in two different households, two different cultures, and now they're living with one another. It's a humongous sacrifice. Okay. And if I were to tell today's men, I would tell them, man up, be a man. Okay. And make the sacrifice and do the right thing. And if you're gonna have children with a woman, then that's your responsibility. You better hang in there with her and raise the children till death do you part. Okay, don't let go. Now, there are circumstances. Everyone's got their own situation, and everybody's got their own circumstance. And sometimes there's things from the outside that come in between the marriage, or sometimes there's abuse, or there's some other people getting involved in your marriage and all kinds of things. But you have to have a good communication with your spouse. You have to have a very good communication with the mother of your children and do whatever you can to keep it together. You gotta be able to make that sacrifice and block everything out. Now, it's a big sacrifice, but your great-grandfather did it, your grandfather did it, and your father most likely has done it. And if it didn't do it, I'm sorry, but there were in the past generations where marriages just, once you get married, you're just together, no matter what. So if they could have done it in the past, so can you. It can be done.
Excellent. Excellent. That's wonderful information to share to him. And there's nothing like a man helping to educate and empower another man. There's nothing like it because from a woman's perspective who raised her son solo, I remember how my father was. My father he was hungry. He couldn't share enough information to my son's father for him to man up, as you say, and to stay the course, if you will?
Look, I'm going to tell you something. As you know, I have 3 children. My eldest daughter, Saida, is a social worker. My number 2 child is my son, Jawad. He's a business administration and an entrepreneur. He's a brand new entrepreneur, as a matter of fact. My daughter is a social worker. My son is a businessman. He's now in his new career that he took of security and closed circuit televisions and security systems for residentials and for residences and businesses. My 3rd child is the ultimate gift from God. She's 7 years old. So I got 27, I got 24, and then bam, out of nowhere, 7 years old. But as I say, alhamdulillah, all the equipment was working on both sides. So
Absolutely.
that made the miracle happen. And it was a blessing. But I can tell you one thing. I do wish I had spent more time with my daughter. And sometimes I cry about it at night. And says, oh, I was spending so many late hours at work. And what did it get me? You know, what did it get me? Well, I mean, I gotta admit, I mean, I did put these two elder children through college, but I wish I had spent more time with them. And I'm trying my best and level best to not just work harder, but work smarter and try to finish up my work as early as I can so I can clock out and be with my youngest daughter. She's 7 years old, going to be 8. And it's a learning experience. After having the 3rd child, I said to myself, now's the time I really, really have to buck up. But I'm not complaining that, you know, you can ask my kids. I did whatever the best I could for them. And I know they appreciate me a lot. But it's very, very important to keep it together as a team.
Absolutely.
But it's unfortunate that, unfortunately, that a lot of times things don't work out the way that you plan them. But there is a God. And if he brought you in this world, trust me, he's got your back. You just got to believe in God and know that he is going to make the ultimate plan for you. Understand? So it helped out everybody. I can even tell you and point the camera to you and say, sister, God is with you. He helped you.
Mm-hmm.
So if he could help you, he can help anybody else.
Absolutely.
And he is helping everybody else.
Absolutely. Sajjad, thank you so much. And as we bring this to a close, I just want to share a little insert from Raising John's Boy. In the area where, in the chapter where I said, can only a man raise a man, I just want to read a little insert. And it says, this doesn't mean a man is not valuable in the home. It means women have to find their strength when things don't work out and know that they are more than enough and have all the tools to do the job of a man without turning into one, without becoming dependent on one, or thinking that she's better than one. Now, let's get men back into the homes. So I just want to share that because I want women who are reading this and who are watching this tonight to know that, you know, you're not alone when you're raising your children, you know, by yourself. You're not alone. It's a tough, tough road. But the goal here is, and the takeaways that I'm hoping that single moms will adhere to is, 1, find a support system, you know, and I talk about it all the time. If you don't have that significant other by your side, you know, join a church, join a women's group, whatever faith that you are, you know, join a community program, but try to center yourself around people who truly, truly are looking out for your best interest. And for my brothers out there, what you're looking at on the screen here, this is what a man looks like. This is a man who sacrificed. He had 2 children that he already raised. And when a surprise came about, he didn't walk out, he stayed. And he even sacrificed his own happiness to being away from his daughter to make sure that she had food in her belly and a roof over her head and clothes on her back by sacrificing and staying at the job, working late hours, late nights. So that's what a man's role is. Man up. And for the women who are doing the job of a mother and a father, hats off to you, my sister, because it is not an easy job and you are doing one hell of a job. So thank you, Sajjad, for being here today, tonight. You have been an absolute amazing guest. I am super excited. And on this issue of let's talk over teas, let's just do a little powwow. Is Zoe over there? Oh, okay. A little toast. Boom. Thank you, guys. And remember, when we strengthen our boys and men, we stabilize our girls and women. Take care, everyone, and have a beautiful and blessed evening.